Hello everyone, Elite Clockwoman here. Finally, episode 26 came out, and as always it turned out to be interesting and cool. And in this episode, we got a lot of information, and we also got new and cool characters. And also in this episode, there were several references, and in this video, I will show you absolutely all the secrets and details of this episode, and you will also find out what these new characters are, and also what we can expect in the new episode. But before we get into all this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And here we go. The episode begins with the same location from my exclusive video, and we see those same secret doors that lead to the Drillman base. And then POV takes out a map where the Drillman base is indicated, and also the emergency exit, which we see in front of us, which proves that we are in front of the Drillman base. And we see that this cameraman's shirt is green. And in my last video, I forgot what kind of cameraman this is. But with your help, I remembered that this is Cameraman Flash from episode 22. But I think that his power was only one time, and Clockwoman dispersed his heart in that episode. But it's possible that next time his heart won't be able to handle it. So I doubt that we'll see this ability again, perhaps in the future. And then we are shown that this entrance is located somewhere in the mountains not far from the main entrance to this base. And then Cameraman makes our way through the bushes, and we see a sign with the inscription, Drillman Underground Headquarter, which confirms that this is an emergency entrance to this base. But suddenly, the lock is on the doors began to open, and we see an eerie, long corridor. And based on the appearance of this corridor, I can say that this corridor was used very rarely. But it seems to me that the SKIBIDI toilets entered the base using this particular entrance. And probably they found this entrance with the help of hackers who hacked the agents' tablets. And they could also extract useful information from the tablets about the location of important buildings of agents. And then we see a surviving drillman who is wounded, but trying to get out of this hell. And our agent immediately runs to his aid. And from behind, we see several more drillmen, and they are all running away in horror from something. And another drillman appears, and we see what the SKIBIDI buzzsaw hunts with him, and just look at his eyes. They are absolutely white, but also glow in the dark, and we have already noticed white eyes on toilets many times. And I had a theory that perhaps toilets with white eyes are stronger and occupy higher positions in the army of toilets. But the drillman tried to stop the mutant with the help of his nails. And during this time, another drillman managed to escape from there. But the SKIBIDI buzzsaw does not stop, and the agents begin to run away from him. But the mutant managed to catch Drillman by the hand, and you look carefully that this toilet is damn strong, because even huge, heavy doors cannot stop it. But with the help of another agent, they managed to get out of there. And then we see a sign that confirms there is an emergency exit from this base. And we can notice that the drillman is trembling all over with horror, since he almost died a second ago, but the doors began to bend due to the strong blows of the SKIBIDI toilets. But the agents calm down a little, and we see how the surviving drillmen enter the cameraman ship to get out of here, since they really went through hell at this base. And then we can notice that on this door, there is a unique lock that can only be opened with a handprint, and the drillman successfully closed the last doors so that the toilets do not come out. And we see that he has a lot of stress about his brothers, and it's even hard for me to imagine that the survived drillman inside this laboratory filled with SKIBIDI toilets. But suddenly, we hear the sound of a helicopter, and at first, I thought that it was reinforcements from agents. But in fact, these are SKIBIDI toilets, and we again see new types of SKIBIDI toilets. In the center is SKIBIDI Cyclops, as judging by his mask, he has only one eye, and a little later you will see this. And also two small toilets are protected by masks and armor, and one of the toilets shot at the cameraman ship, and thereby destroyed everyone who was on board the ship. And I'm in another shock that the toilets intend to wipe out the drillman race from the face of the earth, and I'm very sorry for them, but unfortunately, we can't do anything about it, and we only have to hope that everything will be fine with those who survived. And after the explosion, we are convinced that the ship with the drillmen is completely destroyed, and the toilets want to kill those on the ground. But at the last moment, our hero arrived and began to destroy the SKIBIDI toilets, and only the Cyclops remained. But he is not so easy to kill, and he was somehow able to catch Plunger Cameraman. But Plunger Cameraman showed the toilet that he was not afraid of him, and threw a freezing plunger at him, but the toilet just got angry and threw him to the ground. But the Plungerman was not badly hurt, and then we see how the mutant took off his mask, and it turns out that he is really a Cyclops, since he only has one eye. And this is probably one of the strangest mutants at this point. And it seems to me that this Cyclops was created precisely in this laboratory where we saw different monsters. And there are probably even more terrible monsters than this one, but we will see them in the next episodes. But Drillmen again open this door since it would be safer to go inside, and they go inside and the Drillman closes this door. But in this frame, we see this monster up close, and we also see that he has the inscription SKIBIDI on his armor, and he has rather unusual armor, and it is not the same as that of ordinary toilets. And now I believe more that this toilet was created in this particular laboratory. But the agents escaped from this monster by closing the door, but they were trapped because other toilets were trying to get through other doors. And Cyclops is also trying to break through the main door, and it seems that this is the end for the agents. But for some reason, Cyclops stopped breaking through the door, but the toilets behind are still trying to break through, and the main door begins to open, and we see the body of the killed Cyclops and the new cool agent, and it turns out that this is a Drillman. But I'm not surprised because in my analysis of leaks, I said that this is a Drillman, and it turns out that this is a unique agent of the Drillman race. The same as Plunger Cameraman of the Cameraman race, and the same as the Dark Speaker Man of the Speakerman race. But I think that this Drillman will be able to give a light to the Plunger Cameraman and the Dark Speaker Man. And we also see that he is more similar on the Assassin, and also he is in a black hood, and now we will see what he is capable of. And several SKIBIDI mutants come out of the door, and the Assassin passes through the agents and makes them understand that he will destroy them. And a very cool detail is that he got the same cube that TV Men Titan gave to Cameraman Titan so that he could teleport from a dangerous place to the TV base. And it's clear that this Drillman is shocked that this Assassin has this cube, but the Assassin gives a signal for them to take this cube and get out of here, since it's very dangerous here. And the agents using this cube teleported from here to the TV base. And it turns out that the clock boss knew about this Drillman, and it was he who entrusted him with this mission to save the survivors. And now I think that every TV man has with him a teleportation cube with which he can save other agents and teleport to a safe place. And probably Clock Boss ordered the TV men to make such a cube after toilets destroyed the drill base. Well, in short, Clock Boss is very smart, and it's not for nothing that he is the most important of all, and he can also look into the future for several seconds. But if you are more interested in this, then be sure to look at my analysis, where we saw a new and secret scene. Anyways, before moving on, let's look at the Assassin's armor. In front, he has spikes with the help of which it will be difficult for SKIBIDI toilets to devour him. He also has 5 daggers in front, and also strange mechanisms on his hands. And in this frame we can notice that he has guns that shoot either drills or knives, and in general, he has an incredible design. I like it. I give it 10 out of 10. Also write your ratings in the comments. And after the agents teleported from there, the drill man goes into battle, and look at these movements. He moves literally like the wind, and we can notice that he has drill-shaped daggers that easily penetrate the armor of toilets. And in the end, he quite easily destroyed all the mutants. And this battle didn't remind you of anything. If not, then I'll explain everything to you. And in fact, this character is a reference to the game Prince of Persia, and see for yourself. And also the domstudio in the last leaked frame gave us a hint in the form of the Persia inscription on the weapon of this assassin. And in general, this is very cool, because Prince of Persia is one of my favorite childhood games, and I have completed this game many times. Also write in the comments whether you have played this game or not. But now the most important part of this episode will begin. After the assassin destroyed all the enemies, an earthquake occurs, and we hear the sound of a Titan drillman, and the assassin put on his hood and ran to see what was happening there. And we see that he is also excellent at climbing rocks. And this means that he is a universal soldier and can complete missions of any complexity. And then we are shown the drill titan and the toilets that are holding the drill woman captive, and we see the very moment how the drill man is about to go to the clock base and destroy it. And our assassin noticed the drill woman, and he also noticed a bomb that is attached to the toilet. But suddenly, a TV man appeared with a blade in his hand, and this assassin's blade, which he may have forgotten at the base, or this blade was only made not long ago. And here we see not ordinary drawings, but to be honest, I can't say what it means, but if you have any ideas, write about it. And we also see that the assassin has a watch on his hand that protects him from the abilities of the clock race. But why does he need it now? And I think that this is a hint that soon that the Clock Titan will return, and I am sure that there are only a few episodes left before his return, and this return will be legendary. And after TV Man handed over the blade, this scene ended and a new scene began. And the new scene is incredible since we again see a new character. And this is the same Pencilman that we have been waiting for since episode 19. And you can immediately notice that this race is quite technological, since we see a small computer on his hand. And he inserted this pen into this mechanism, and we see the inscription, Mode Invisible 10 minutes left. And now we know that it can be invisible for only 10 minutes. But for me personally, that's too much. It's too much of a cheating ability. I think we need to give it only 1 minute. What do you think? And then we see that now we are at the main base of the SKIBIDI toilets that we saw at the end of episode 20. And we see a sign with a hacker mask that the hacker's room is on the right. And one of the hackers comes inside and the pencil man tries to quickly run in there. But the hacker heard some noise. But since he can't see him, Pencilman has nothing to be afraid of. And before the doors closed, he managed to get inside and he headed towards the open door. And we see the hackers eating McDonald's. SKIBIDI toilets eat food from McDonald's. I'm in shock. But where do they get this food if only people cook it? Or do they have a SKIBIDI cook and a SKIBIDI McDonald's? I'm generally silent about how they go to the toilet because they is in the toilet. Okay, this made me laugh, but let's see what happens next. And then we see some kind of warehouse with papers and a hacker who is looking for some documents, and after the hacker left, we see a closet in the middle of the room and that there are combination locks on it. But the Pencilman was very lucky that the closet remained open, and then we see a shocking moment. G-Man Apocalypse book. And I'm shocked by this. I don't understand what is happening here. But this clearly means that G-Man is alive, and we will also see him soon, and he also has a book of the apocalypse. And now it seems to me that the scientist also has such a personal book, because he and G-Man occupy the highest ranks in the army of toilets. But where are the YouTubers? They should also destroy this book, but they probably couldn't get here since this base is very protected. But still I don't understand how Pencilman ended up here. Even if Pencilman can make himself invisible, then in any case, he cannot know where this base is. Perhaps he clung to some huge SKIBIDI toilet that returned to the base after the mission, and so he got there. There is also some kind of photograph under this book, but it's not possible to find out what is there. And in general, it was not such an epic episode as 25, but this episode was probably the most informative of all. I thought that I already understand everything that is happening here, but domstudio again confused me. And is it interesting for YouTubers to also hunt for this book? Or do they destroy other books like SKIBIDI Apocalypse? It's not clear yet, and it's also not clear what we'll see in the new episode, but I'm sure episode 27 will be crazy. And probably when we get the first leaked frame, we will be able to guess what will happen next. But be sure to subscribe to the channel so as not to miss new videos. And also don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed analysis. Elite Clockwoman out.